Provided by Serpro of Piatt DeWitt counties by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This Thursday's a big day in Clinton and DeWitt County. It's the annual Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce Business Expo from 4 till 7 this Thursday afternoon at Clinton Senior High. Advanced Services, Inc. in Clinton is one of the exhibitors at this year's expo. Stop by their booth for some free items and games. Flyers will also be available on the services they offer. That's all at the Advanced Services, Inc. booth at this Thursday's Clinton Chamber Business Expo from 4 till 7 at Clinton Senior High.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show is Mr. John Weiss. He is a Clinton City Council member seeking re-election unopposed on Tuesday, April 4th in the upcoming election. Good morning, John. How are you, sir?
Well, hello, Seth, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for making time for us. We should mention that John is the commissioner of, is it public property? Public property on the Clinton City Council, seeking re-election unopposed. John, why seek re-election this time around from you, sir?
I had really considered not running again, and it was one of those things where I'm getting older, and I thought, well, it's maybe it's time for someone younger and somebody with a little different ideas. But it just became evident that no one really wants my job. I don't really know why, but I haven't had anybody that really expressed. I had one gentleman, and he decided he did not want to. And when he asked me, I would have shown him the ropes. Mm-hmm. And I have no problem with getting someone in that really wants to look after the betterment of Clinton. And if they want my job, if they come and talk to me, I would have been more than happy. And I was going to help this gentleman. Mm-hmm. And he decided, talking with his family, he didn't want to this year. Mm-hmm. And so I talked him in, hey, maybe be on a board and help out, maybe get his feet wet in the arena of what politics are. Mm-hmm. And at the next time, I will step aside. I will want to be done after this term. Yeah. But I did have a few things that I didn't get finished. Mm-hmm. I've done a few things that I think has been very good for the city. New water plant, but now that is a little over 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Now we're revamping and doing some things with that. We've got the new water tower out to high school, took care of pressure issues that we can go ahead and expand on the west side of Clinton. Mm-hmm. The plant is capable of, if the city wanted to grow to twice its size, the plant can take and handle that. Mm-hmm. So I'm really proud of that. We've done some infrastructure work as we've been able to afford it. We've changed water mains that have gotten old and needed to be changed. And in the worst areas, we keep trying to do those first. Mm-hmm. And that will continue. Mm-hmm. We will have a couple of loans that are going to be paid off during this term this time. I want to collect money and try to get things going because we've got a site now to put a new water tower up on the uptown area. Mm-hmm. The old tower has just about outlived itself. There's just so many things that needs to be changed and done with it. Mm-hmm. I know everybody looks at it and thinks, well, that's a landmark. We've been there forever. But sometimes change has to come just because we can't get parts. We can't do the things. And to take that apart, mm-hmm. clean it, and do everything that you have to, you might as well just build a new one. So we have a piece of property right across the street that will get a new state-of-the-art tower in the future. Mm-hmm. That's my main goal for the next, and keep changing the old infrastructure, get rid of some of the old mains that are like a zipper in the street. People see that you just keep having a break and having to change it. And mm-hmm. that doesn't work well. We've got to change some of those, but that's every city in the United States. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They've had stuff that's been in the ground for 100 years, basically. And it's time that a lot of it needs to be changed and taken care of. And mm-hmm. that's kind of the goal for the next 4 years is to see some of these things transpire and keep going. And the water, I do know that back before I became a commissioner, we had water that looked like iced tea, and you did not want to drink it. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that it is 1,000% better. Mm-hmm. I think that is one thing that has been accomplished, and I am very proud of that. Yeah, sure. And then the other part of that is I enjoy being on the city council. Mm-hmm. I like seeing changes that have been around Clinton. The Clinton Square, I want to utilize and use it more. Before COVID, we were having concerts, being able to use it, bringing people in. Mm-hmm. as everybody knows, we're centrally located. We have a lake that brings in 1 million people a year.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we not promoting Clinton, Illinois
Mm-hmm.
more? We have a new Chamber of Commerce director. The other one did a wonderful job. Can't say anything bad. Marion did a great job, but we need to take and work together.
Mm-hmm.
We got a new
DC.
economic development group out of the county.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see us work more in concert with them
Mm-hmm.
and bring people to Clinton. Let them see what kind of a jewel we really have.
Mm-hmm.
The Uptown Square, we've been revitalizing with the facade grants and things, and a lot of new buildings and new businesses went in.
Mm-hmm.
Want to see variety, want to see us be able to do things. There's so many things that we could do to really make this a destination.
Sure.
But we just got to get it out there. We
Mhm.
got to let people know that this is what we have to offer.
Mhm.
Find new and better ways of getting people into Clinton.
You know, what you're saying, John, really aligns with what Kurt Homan has talked with us about a number of times with the DeWitt County Development Council. The new executive director they have is, promoting Clinton, making people aware of what is happening here. And so I'm curious, what is aside from Clinton Lake, like what is the hidden gem you think people don't know about Clinton? Like, is there something that you point to that say people should know about this in Clinton? This is really great what we have.
We look at different things all the time. I got to be part of the heritage group that brought in a group of gentlemen that did a presentation on Lincoln and Fell and the people that were originally here.
Oh, the Founders Day stuff.
The Founders Day celebration. And they have done a wonderful job. Lincoln, the things that have been done in DeWitt County and in Clinton itself with Abraham Lincoln and with the people that had developed it, the railroad. We were one of a thriving hub of railroad town, and we don't take and promote that.
Mhm.
And we've got the hotel that's being redone.
Mhm.
If they can work on that and get that to where they have rooms and they have the restaurant, they have the bakery, whatever, there is things that the history of Clinton itself,
Mhm.
If you really look into it, there's things that the people can take the walks and see things in Clinton. Go walk to the cemetery, go down to the homestead.
Mhm.
The apple and pork is one thing. We can look at having more events. There is a lot of rich history here. The Chautauqua Days at Weldon Springs,
Mhm.
that was a big thing back in the day.
Mhm.
We need to promote more of that.
Mhm.
We've done a lot of different things to try to bring people in, but that square is one of the things that I think the downtown square is not utilized enough.
Mhm.
Most small towns have different festivals and different things. They use that all the time.
Mhm.
And I just think that there's a variety of things in Clinton that can be done to bring people and let them know that, hey, this is the place you need to come to just to visit.
A lot of this stuff takes money, John, and city coffers are not, bottomless. They're not the French fries at Red Robin. So how about funding and affording all of these things, and how about that?
There again, you've got to look at grants. You got to look at someone that can really know the ins and outs. And I think that the new director, as you were talking about, he has those kind of connections. It's talking to your state representatives. There's a lot of alternatives, but we just have not utilized some of them to the best of the ability. Talking to state reps, talking to the people that's out there that can take and find a way, alternatives.
Mhm.
I think it's there. It's just we have to get the right people in place and go and look for it.
Right.
And I think we've got some new people. Like I say, the chamber has got some new people, some new ideas. We've got the new director of the economic development.
Mhm.
I think they will be the ones to all of us coordinate with.
Mhm.
And I think every person in Clinton should have an opinion.
Mhm.
Tell me, we're very open. Let us know what we can do to help. And I think I've been that person for a long time.
Mhm.
I will try to do my best.
Mhm.
And I think everybody that's there wants to see us improve and go
Mhm.
forward.
Mhm.
And like I say, it's just finding the right avenues.
Mhm.
When we had the concerts on the square, we were a good partner with the power plant. They would come in and they helped bring in bands and different things. We just got to reach out to that.
Mhm.
We have a lot of good companies around in DeWitt County. Go to them and ask them, hey, what could we do to make this better? how can we promote you?
Mhm.
How can we take and promote Clinton?
Sure.
And we need partners.
Right.
And I think it can be done. I
Mhm.
truly do. I think we just have to work at it.
Again, our guest in studio today, John Weiss. He is the Clinton City Council Commissioner of Public Property in studio with us. He is running unopposed, seeking re-election in the Tuesday, April 4th election. That is a week from today. Wow, I can't believe that, John. So what you're saying sounds like we've got to collaborate. We've got to work together. We've got to do things. I think a lot could be done if the city had an administrator. We've had, kind of a revolving door of just a handful of administrators, but really that absence seems to be felt with the absence of Tim Followell in that office. Your thoughts on that?
You are exactly correct. We as a council, that's one of the things that we have not done well in this last 4 years. When Tim left, we were in the process. We tried to find people. We went out on our own and really vetted and looked at it, but we failed miserably. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think we had people that just weren't quite what we needed for the fix here in Clinton. We are doing a better job of really looking into it now. We are in that process right now of looking for someone to fill that void. More than anything, we need someone with a zoning background. That is one thing that we're really needing right now. I got to give props to Tim Followell. He's came back as kind of a helper with us. He is on the city side here now, helping us with the zoning things at short term, but he doesn't want to do this for very long. But we do need to have someone in that office as a figurehead. It's like any other entity. You've got to have someone that's contact, someone that you can talk to, someone that has the inside knowledge of what do we have. We've got a lot of property around Clinton area that could be used if someone wants to bring in a business or bring in something. We got to have that contact person to tell them what we have. What do we have to offer as far as space and buildings that are empty and things that they could come in immediately and get, or if they need to build, what can we do to help them? Like you said, we don't have a lot of money, but we have always been good about waiving fees as far as tapping fees and helping get water on the property and doing the things that we can as a city with the limited resources. We don't have, like you say, an unlimited pot to go out and give people a lot of incentive money or all these tax breaks. We can't do that. But we do have things that we can do that we would give incentives. And that lead person could be that person that gives them that little push that, hey, here's what you got here. This is an area that is very well located. We got all kinds of access to and from the major cities. So come and look at our little jewel.
And the city administrator, John, is an interesting one in Clinton because it's not your typical administrator job. Like Tim had so many responsibilities and duties that when you look at when you talk to administrators in other parts of central Illinois, they're really dialed in on economic development and community policy and things of that nature. Whereas our administrator has, wears a number of hats. You're talking about zoning, like not a lot of administrators get into the zoning side of things. Has the council thought about revamping that role, reimagining it to what it traditionally looks like in other areas?
That is what we're doing right now. We have streamlined it. We are starting to narrow it down. And if we have to, it'll even be 2 positions. Tim, born and raised in Clinton, he started in with the cemetery. Got to give him props. The young man worked his way up, came through the ranks. He accepted more and more responsibility. And that was part of all the councils in the past. They should have narrowed him down and not put all that on him. But Tim was the kind of guy that he just put it on his back, carried it, and he just kept morphing and kept getting more and more because he loved Clinton. He loved what he did, and he did a wonderful job of being that liaison. He'd been here his whole life. He knew the people to talk to, and you won't find that in just going out here and looking for someone. That is not there unless you were born and raised here and you actually came through and grew up doing it. That position would never be like his. So that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at getting someone else that has a little more expertise to come in and find that person for us. And if it means having 2 people and kind of changing that, that's what we're looking at now. And we are in the process as we speak doing that.
Well, John, let's take a time out here. We'll come back and talk some more. John Weiss, Clinton City Council member, Commissioner of Public Property, our guest in studio. He runs unopposed in the upcoming Tuesday, April 4th election, seeking re-election on the Clinton City Council. We talk more with John coming your way next on The Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. We start in the green with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. May corn 6.49 3/4, up a penny and a half. July corn up half a penny, 6.30 1/4. September corn 5.79 1/2, up a penny. May beans starting today 14.51 3/4, up 9 1/2. July beans up 8 3/4, 14.29 1/2. August beans 13.85 1/4, up 8 1/2. May Chicago wheat $7 even, up 2 pennies. July wheat up 1 1/2, 7.11. September wheat 7.22 3/4, that's up 1 1/2. May bean meal 4.54.10, up 8.10, and May bean oil 54.19, down 36 cents. That is a look at the opening numbers on this Tuesday morning at the Chicago Board of Trade. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
If you think a new or used car is in your future, the time is now to call the Baum Chevrolet Buick sales team here in Clinton or Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. With a professional sales consultant in your corner, the vehicle search is easy. Meet with our sales team to go over your wants and needs. We'll start the search and do all the legwork for you. With so many models and options to choose from, we can help you get the information you need. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show, John Weiss, Commissioner of Public Property on the Clinton City Council. He seeks re-election, running unopposed in the April 4th election, a week from today on Tuesday. John, I want to ask you this. Water comes up a lot from your perspective. Water main breaks, water tower, water plant, water treatment plant, all those things. What is an aspect of the public property commissioner that maybe people don't see a lot, but is part of what you oversee and work with?
Well, my name is kind of deceiving. It says public property. You'd think that I was in charge of like a park, or I was in part of the
streets and all those. Yeah,
that is not the way that works, and how it's worded that way, I've never understood myself.
Right.
But the whole idea is you have a mayor, you have 4 commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of them has different things. One's finance, one is health and safety, which does take care of police department, fire department, things like that. Kenny is the street department, and he takes care of streets and alleys and sewer. I basically in the water department, but as that group, we have to oversee a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
We are all kind of equal. And when it comes down to what we want to see done, we discuss. We may not always agree, but we can come to terms on how can we best promote Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're all public property. We are all that person because we are there to see what we can do for Clinton.
Mm-hmm. How much of what you do, how much when you talk about, understanding what the other commissioners are overseeing, like Kenny with the streets, Danny with the fire department or the parks, Tom with the finances, all these things. How do you, mesh trying to understand what's happening with what they've got going on when they bring an item forward on an agenda? Are you in communication with them? Are you out with them where they're at on the streets, in the parks, at the fire department? Like how much not overlap, but how much working together comes into, what you're doing, like beyond just the council walls?
Basically, it's public works is what the city of Clinton is called. We have a director, which is Steve Lobb, and he's the director and supervisor. But with the city being the way it is, all departments help each other. It overlaps because the water department goes and helps street department if they need help with something. The street department comes and helps us. If we've got guys that are off, they come and help fix the water main leaks. I think all of us go out physically and oversee and look at what's going on. I've been in holes, as a commissioner. I worked with this city for a long time. I was actually out there working on leaks and stuff. And I still physically like to go out and do that once in a while. I like to get there and get wet and whatever. And the guys all kind of look at me like I'm weird, but that's just beside the point.
Right.
But all of us get involved at some point. There is always an overlapping deal.
You're not just a figurehead. You're hands-on with some of these guys.
Hands-on. I have to go, and I really like to get my hands dirty once in a while and go help with whatever. And the guys are very good about letting you know. Same as like if there's something coming up in the water department and we have an emergency, I call all the other commissioners, say, hey, we've had something break at the plant. It's going to cost us more than what is allowed, but we got to get it ordered and we got to do that. That's the way it works. If you have something, you call them up and say, hey, I want you to be aware of this. And they do the same for me.
Sure. I want to get to two things real fast, John. You've laid out a lot on what you'd like to accomplish in the next 4 years, your final 4 years, it sounds like, on the council. Your number one priority in the next 4 years?
I think of just see things paid. We have to go and get loans to take and do the projects that we do. The last major one was the new water tower and the main extension out there by the high school. I would like to see us be able to take and get those loans paid, build an account up in the bank before we do any other thing, build money up. But we just saw a project out across from the junior high. It was a building project that we went ahead and became the developers.
Oh yeah, the development of
those lots. We are now to the point where all those sold, everything is out. It's all been taken care of, and now we're back to where there is no building lots in Clinton. We don't have the ability, and so I think one of the big things we need to look at now is, where can we develop again? What can we do to help? How can we be a partner and help with this ability to grow? If we're going to be a bedroom community and make it better, then we have to have the ability to build houses, bring families in. And I think that's going to be the next major thing we really need to look at, is how can we develop some of the areas that we have and get more building lots and be able to expand Clinton.
Sure.
Not only grow because of people coming in and seeing what our community is, but actually having families that can come in and use our school. We got one of the best schools in the area. We have done very well. We have the recreation, we have everything else, but we got to have places for them to come and live. And just on a side note, we've been having some discussion on Airbnbs and all these kind of things. I don't want you to think that the city council is against any part of that. We just have to follow the rules and the regulations, find out how we have to do this to make it correct. I personally don't see a problem. I would love to see us be able to follow through, because there again, with the lake and with the power plant, we need places that people can come and stay short term. And I want us to see develop that.
Sure. John, I wanted to get to one more thing, but that is all right. We'll let you go. Thanks for coming out this morning. John Weiss, Commissioner of Public Property on the Clinton City Council, our guest, seeking re-election, running unopposed in the April 4th election. Network News is now.
The Big 1520 WH